Nation of Fit in 10. It is day 35. And as I mentioned many times, I said before you know it, we'll be at the halfway point. And of course, I've also mentioned before you know it, we'll be at the end. So we are at the halfway point now. And I want to remind you that you could still make mega massive change in this challenge. Mega massive change. We've only done one comparative scan, and that was 2 weeks ago, or thereabouts. We're going to do another one in 2 weeks. And then we got another one 3 weeks later. Okay, so we still got a lot to do here. Chances are, you're going to make more progress. This is just based on history. You'll make more progress over the next 5 weeks than you did the first 5 weeks. Okay, so long as you keep at things, so long as you keep ticking off those check boxes, right? Doing all the things you need to do daily, right? And as I mentioned yesterday, you know, whether you've made intentional or unintentional mistakes, or you had some weak moments, or whatever you've had, however you want to view it, failures, mess ups, whatever. The key is to keep going. You've got to get yourself up. You just got to brush yourself off, and you need to keep moving forward. That's the way you will be successful. That is the way you'll get closer to where you want to be. All right. Now, yesterday there was a question about toxic diet culture. Actually, I'll reread the question here. Okay, so it goes, I saw a TikTok about diet culture, and it made me reflect on this challenge and diet culture. It's hard to formulate this into a question, but I guess I would like you to talk about toxic diet culture and your specific journey with it. If you're comfortable, like, how do you make sure to keep a healthy relationship with myself, my body, throughout this process? All right, so one thing I just want to say here is, let me just speak about myself again, okay? So I know that it's not realistic for me to walk around at 5% body fat. It's pretty much not realistic for anybody, okay? There might be the odd outlier who has just this, freak genetic ability to be super low body fat. But, as I mentioned yesterday, in social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, people usually will only post their best photos. Usually, okay? Almost always people will only post themselves in the light that they want to be seen in, which is usually the best light. And so it's not realistic, okay? It's not realistic. When I was on stage, I don't know, I was maybe at my leanest, 3, 4, 5% body fat, something like that, okay? Let's say 5% body fat. I was very, very low body fat. That is not realistic, okay? And I'm, 5'6", maybe just over 5'6". I'm about 5'6". It's not realistic for me to walk around at 220 pounds and be, very low body fat. Can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. I can do all the things that would be necessary to do that, but wouldn't be in my best interest for my long-term health, or even, my short-term health either. Okay, so you've got to find that happy medium that is best for you. Okay, you've got to look at what are your goals, what would you like to achieve, and then you've got to weigh out how it's going to affect your life in terms of how to achieve that. Now, you may not know how to achieve that, and you may not really know what goes into it, but I'm telling you that, if you want to, for example, lose some excess weight and get down to, let's call it a healthy body weight, okay? Not social media stage ready. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting to a healthy body fat where you feel good. You've got a good mix, you've got a good balance, with being happy with how you look. It's not disruptive to, certain metrics like I talked about, having energy in the day, having a good night's sleep, a good restful quality sleep. You're able to, think properly. You're able to function as a normal human being. You're not obsessing about things when it comes to fitness. Then I think that's a good balance. But this will differ from person to person. Okay, I know for sure I live more on the extreme realm of things. It's just who I am by nature. It is, especially in this side of things. But it is who I am, and I'm totally good with that. And that just reminds me to emphasize this to you that we are all unique. Okay, as trite as this sounds, we are all unique, and we really need to be happy with who we are. Okay, be true to who you are. Okay, go after the things that you really want to go after. Don't get caught up in things that you really, don't care about or don't support for that matter. Be true to who you are and, embrace your uniqueness. It is who you are. Some people are naturally meant to be a little bit more heavy set. That doesn't mean obese, okay? Okay, it doesn't mean eat whatever you want. No, that is different, okay? But, as I mentioned, this is why, there's a spectrum when it comes to, if somebody comes to me and asks me, what's a healthy body fat percentage for me to be at? Well, I'm not going to give you a number. I'm going to give you a range, right? Because it's going to be different from person to person. And maybe that's not the best example because that's just an estimated number. But, again, trying to find that happy medium with what forms of training do you like to do? Do you enjoy weight training? If you don't, okay, well then don't do it. I'm going to encourage you to do it, and I think it's got a lot of health. Well, it does have a lot of health, benefits, and especially when it comes to body composition. But if it's not conducive to your lifestyle, if you don't enjoy it, then maybe it's not the best thing for you to do. Likewise, if weighing your food is not really conducive for you to do for the rest of your life, then don't do it. But everything's going to have a trade-off with it, right? And so it's all about finding what's going to work best for you. Looking at fitness or seeking help in fitness online, Instagram, TikTok, all these other things. There's a lot of influences out there. Like there's so many. It's something that I know I need to do more of. I just hate it because I just find it so shallow, to be honest with you. And I've been caught up in that before. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm better than all those other people. But it does, it does get tiring after some time. You've got to just reflect on yourself, determine what's important for you, and then take small steps towards that. Okay. Now I know this challenge is it's a lot of big steps that we've taken, right? Like I take a lot of people from here to, okay, day one, you're going all the way over here, right? Well, that's what we're shooting for. It doesn't necessarily work out that way. And I'm always going to try to push you to that point. But yeah, it's just about trying to find that happy balance. You've got this spectrum, as I mentioned yesterday, from you're doing nothing, okay? You are sedentary, you don't care about your diet, to you are extreme, to whatever, a competitive physique athlete, okay? Two extremes. You got to find your balance somewhere in the middle. And you know what? That balance is somewhere in the middle. Okay? So, but first and foremost, you've got to love yourself. You do. Okay? I know it sounds cheesy, and I know many people have said this before, but you've got to love yourself, and you've got to love you. You've got to be happy with who you are. Truly deep down, just embrace who you are. Know your strengths. Okay? Well, I guess we don't know all of our strengths or our weaknesses for that matter. But when we do discover them, we just have to embrace them, and that's who you are, right? And likewise, that goes for other people as well. We're all just different, and we come with our strengths in terms of the different intelligences that we have, or maybe it's just one or whatever. We've all got certain things we're good at, certain things we're not. The point is we just have to embrace ourselves, accept that. And when it comes to fitness, it's the same thing, okay? Implement the things that, I think that you think are going to help you to the best of your ability, and work towards it. And then, set some goals. And then once you reach that point in time where, you've set that goal for, reevaluate. Okay. But one thing's for sure, when it comes to your health and your fitness, whether it's for vain reasons or not, which, I'm sure it's going to be part of it, but for your health, for your functionality, for maybe a sport you're training for, you've got to be doing the things that are going to help you to sustain that, right? If you do want to sustain it, okay? At least when it comes to healthy body weight, to a healthy well-being, we want to be following some things that are sustainable. We want to have a sustainable regime that isn't going to interfere too much with our life. Okay, it is a responsibility that I think everybody should take on, but again, it's finding that happy medium, right? All right, so I kind of rambled a bit there. I don't know how much you want to hear about myself. I could talk more on this. I thought about it last night, to be honest with you. I said to you I never really think about it. I do think about it a lot, but I don't talk about it a lot. So I'm happy to talk about it. If you want me to talk about it more, I will. I just don't want to get on this video and talk about myself. This, if you're interested, then I'm happy to. Okay, maybe I'll do I do a video and I could dive into more of the bodybuilding culture, that type of thing, because it is quite extreme. It is interesting for me. You might find it interesting. All right, this person writes, just wanted to thank you for the program. I am very proud every day of the choices that I make with exercises and food. Great. And I feel grateful for you, Kenneth and Martina. Thank you very much, by the way, for that. I have not felt this healthy or strong since high school. So this is great, right? So you've made some steps, to a point at which you are happier with, right? So we know we're going in the right direction. Right? And I wouldn't give you guys anything that I wouldn't at least wholeheartedly believe is not good for you. All right? Doesn't mean it is good for you, okay? I'm not God. But I do believe everything I'm giving you is going to be very, very helpful to you. All right, so 11 minutes in, let's get to the message of the day. On this day 35, the week that you will not quit. It's one of my favorites. It goes like this. Don't forget, you can start late. You can start over. You can be unsure. You can act differently. You can try and fail. And you can try and fail, and you can try and fail, and you can try and fail. And you can try and fail many, many, many times. And after all of that, you can still succeed. You can still be successful. After all of what I mentioned, you can still be successful. Your past does not dictate your future, right? Don't forget, you can start late. You can start over. You can be unsure. You can act differently. You can try and fail, and you can trip and you can fall, and you can intentionally sabotage yourself, and you can fall again and again and again, and can have all kinds of mini failures. And after all of that, you can still be successful working towards whatever endeavor you're working towards. You can still be, okay? In fact, I'm going to argue you're going to be closer because you're that much wiser, right? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great long weekend.